Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. And yes, if you are wondering, that video was entirely shot on the very first 61MP full frame mirrorless camera Sony A7R IV. In this video, we are going to be talking about every single detail you need to know before you go make your mind up. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Right off the bat, you can see this camera comes with a really nice packaging. Everything is well organized in a really teeny box. This camera does come with a USB-C charging. If you're a traveler, you want to charge your camera, just bring a power bank, plug it in, you're set. Just keep in mind, camera will not charge while it's turned on. This camera does come with a battery charger and a wire, but I bet you you're not going to end up using that because thanks to the USB-C. Alright, everything out of the box. Here comes the master Sony A7R IV. Now I have this in my hand. Let's jump into the real review. First and foremost is the design. Oh my god, this camera has the really nice design, ergonomically well fit. Every essential buttons are on one side except the menu button on the other side. Every single buttons are super clickier, and they have tried something new for the exposure dial. When you set your exposure, you can lock your exposure so you can prevent all your accidental changes. Talking about the LCD screen, it's said to be touchscreen, but unfortunately it's not fully touchscreen, it's just touch focus. So if you want to focus the subject, just click it, it will focus. Other than that, it does not have any other functionality. Moving on to the side of the camera, we have microphone input, headphone out, micro HDMI, USB-C socket and a micro USB. We also have a flash sync terminal to run some external flash through cable connection. On the other side, we have an option for dual SD card slot, and they both support UHS 2 types. That's it for the design, and moving on to ISO and shutter speed. When shooting a picture, the ISO natively can go from 100 to a maximum of 32,000. But you can extend all the way down to 50 to a maximum of 102,400. That number itself is super big, and yes, it does its job to bring all the light back and all the color back, but yes, at its maximum ISO, it does also bring a lot of noise. But when you're shooting a video, it doesn't matter if you're shooting a 1080 or 4K, the maximum ISO you can go is 32,000 and the minimum is 100. Next up is the shutter speed. When you're shooting a 4K video, the shutter speed can go only down to 1/4. It gives you that nice motion railing effect. But when you're shooting a 1080 video in 120 FPS, it can only go down to 1/125. It does lose some detail there, and it also brings some noise in between. Next up is the autofocus. To be really honest with you, autofocus is hands down the best selling part of this camera. This camera provides a nice eye detection and also face detection, and the eye detection itself, it performs accurately and flawlessly, and it doesn't matter, most of the time I always get it on point. The eye focus and the face detection performs really well even in low light, and when you're shooting a video, the eye detection and the face detection still be there, so you will not be end up losing any shot, whether it be video or photo. The autofocus does seems to struggle when you have no light in the background and you still want to focus the object. This camera also have a 10 FPS continuous shooting, so the eye focus and the face detection works even in 10 FPS continuous shooting. Here comes the most interesting and exciting part of this review, the video quality. As you probably might know, this camera can shoot 4K at 30 FPS and 1080 at 120 FPS. That 61MP really gives you a far detail, so you will not lose much detail when you want to enlarge your 1080 video to a 4K workflow. This camera has a 5-axis sensor stabilization, and it does give you really smooth videos. Unfortunately, this camera only provides 8 bits video rather than 10 bits, where other companies are giving out 10 bits video. Overall, this camera hits every single aspect really well, and yes, you might be saying for the price, they could have at least had a 4K at 60 FPS, fully touchscreen display, 10-bit video, maybe a flip out screen. These are things they could have had in the camera, but I'm not too disappointed. I hope they will at least have this in their upcoming products. Other than that, I love this camera, and yes, that's it for me. Please let me know if you have any question. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. I'll see you on the next one.